Hi Scorpio, this is Tisch Aitken. This is your monthly astrological report for the month of September 2022. If you could please subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. There is so much happening. It's been an incredibly intense summer. Uranus, which is the planet of chaos and ingenuity, met up with the north node of karma at 18 degrees of the fixed earth sign of Taurus in your house of relationships and partnerships. That's a big deal. Uranus takes approximately 84 years to transit, and the last time it was in Taurus and met up with the nodes of fate in the Taurus Scorpio axis, it met up with the south node of karma, which was transiting in Taurus in January of 1939. That is not very frequent. Uranus wants you to wake up. It wants you to break free from things that are keeping you back. It can be very shocking. It can bring sudden change in a flash, but it also can bring illumination. It can be very exciting. Once you get through the disruption, it could innovate a whole new world for you that you had no idea you might enjoy. And it's about getting out of your comfort zone to invent a new you and help to invent a new world, building community in a very disconnected world. And again, relationships are a huge theme for you because it's a lot of change. Uranus initially entered your house of partnerships on May 15th of 2018. It's been there on and off since that time, bringing breakthroughs, maybe some endings of partnerships, beginnings out of the blue. Maybe there have been exciting partnerships professionally or socially that have ensued since that time. But this summer has been very challenging because it can definitely raise your anxiety. It, is opposing your ascendant, your house of self. And so that can raise your anxiety, but it's encouraging you to think on your feet and to just take risks. And the sun is transiting in the mutable earth sign of Virgo in your house of community, friends, and groups, encouraging you to build connection, to network, to promote yourself if you have a project or if you have your own business. If you're single, it's good for meeting new people, and there's so much emphasis on relationships for you with Uranus and the North Node pairing up in your house of partnerships. If you've been single a long time, that could definitely be a 180 in your life. If you're in a partnership, that may also go through a lot of changes, and professionally, there could be a lot of exciting things. This could be a cosmic invitation for something amazing. The North Node is where you're meant to go towards. The South Node is transiting in your sign until July 12th of 2023. There are things you need to release and let go of in yourself or in your habits in order to evolve. So we begin the month, and Mars, which is the planet of action and passion and happens to be the ruler of your sign in ancient astrology, makes a positive aspect to Jupiter, the grand benefic, the planet of expansion and opportunity. And this is a good energy for you for healing and for connecting in that way. There is a big retrograde tone to the month as well that I should mention. Mars entered the mutable air sign of Gemini, where it's going to be through March 26th of 2023. It's transiting in your house of healing and loss and empowerment. It's a very psychological house. It's also the house of financial partnerships and money, debt and taxes and loans. It's also the house of intimacy. And Mars is going to be in that sector of your chart for a long time. It happens to be the Scorpio house. It's the 8th house of the zodiac, and Scorpio is the 8th sign, and it rules this house. So it's actually in a house that likes to be. It gives you empowerment, and it helps you to take charge in a very difficult time and to heal yourself and to release, to hopefully release things that are keeping you from moving ahead. and Mars will retrograde from October 30th at 25 degrees of the mutable air sign of Gemini. It will station direct on January 12th at 8 degrees and 8 minutes of Gemini. And you don't want to launch something new altogether when Mars is retrograde. In the month of September, Mercury will retrograde on September 9th. That to me is not as big of a deal because it retrogrades 4 times a year for approximately 3 weeks. So we have to deal with it. Maybe you retweak something or redo something, but Mars only retrogrades once every 2 years. And it is the planet of drive, and it's how we get ahead and move ahead. So ideally you return to projects, but you don't launch something new. Mars enters its shadow on September 3rd when it gets to 8 degrees of Gemini. So you have an idea of what this Mars retrograde story will be for you. And the month of September is fine. As you get to early mid-October, definitely the farther away from when Mars retrogrades, the better. But we have to work with what we have to work with, and it's been a very disruptive summer, so go ahead, all right? So Mars in harmony with Jupiter on September 1st, that is positive energy and good for you for doing work and for healing energy. So that's positive, and healing your habits. On September 4th or September 5th, depending on where you live, Venus, the planet of love and value and money, enters the mutable earth sign of Virgo, where it will be through September 29th. And it's transiting in your house of friends, groups, and community. Excellent for building connections and promoting yourself. Excellent if you're single, for meeting new people and just building community. That's positive energy. On September 9th, Mercury officially retrogrades at 8 degrees and 55 minutes of the cardinal air sign of Libra in your house of endings and dreams and the unconscious mind. Likely you will get very vivid dreams with Mercury in this sector. Pay attention to your intuition, and distant memories triggered in order to release. Mercury will return to Virgo on September 23rd and will re-enter your house of friends and groups. So likely you'll hear from a lot of people from your past, old friends or acquaintances, what have you. And on September 10th, there is a full moon that takes place at 5:59 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 17 degrees and 41 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. And this full moon occurs in your house of romance, love affairs, self-expression, and creativity. This could bring fruition to a creative project you've been working on. This could bring completion. There could be emotional energy with friends or romantic partners with that. Pisces is such a highly sensitive water sign, the most, I think, out of all of the water signs, and you're pretty sensitive. But it also is very empathetic and creative and compassionate. So hopefully coming from that place. On September 11th, the Sun forms a helpful trine to Uranus. This could be good for partnering with others and making connections. It's very innovative and inventive energy. On September 16th, Venus forms a square to Mars, and that's when the two planets are 90 degrees apart. There's a clash between the planets. It could be sexy energy because Venus is stirring Mars. And, you know, for you, Venus is transiting in your house of friends and groups, but it can promote tension. And the Sun opposes Neptune that date, and that could bring, you know, maybe relationships are a bit draining. Maybe you feel tired from people with that energy. But on the 17th, the moon enters the mutable air sign of Gemini, and that helps you for dealing with financial matters, but it's also a social energy of the moon and dealing with intimacy. And on the 18th of September, let's see, Mercury, the planet of communication, opposes Jupiter. That can be a lot going on. Maybe you're very busy. That can be very social energy. And then the Sun trines Pluto that day. And that's excellent for romance and for friendships and connections. I think that's positive energy. So that's not negative at all. And then let's see, on the 19th, Venus forms a beautiful trine to Uranus. And when a trine happens, it's when two planets are 120 degrees apart. They form a very magical flow of energy. So that's good for unexpected social opportunities, romantic, and just having fun, feeling very creative and inventive. On September 22nd, we begin the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere and the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. And that is one of two times of the year when the sun is exactly above the equator, equal day and equal night. We honor the season ahead and what it holds for us. I cast the chart for Washington, D.C. It has Taurus rising, which means that Venus rules the chart, coming from love. Venus in its fall position in Virgo, but it's about doing work and trying to help people that you love in a difficult time. Venus is in the house of love. The Sun and Mercury are at the world point at 0 degrees of the cardinal air sign of Libra, also in the house of love and creativity. It is the heart chakra. It's opposing Jupiter, the planet of vision and expansion, in the house of dreams and empathy. Again, manifesting, suspension of disbelief, and coming from love. And also breaking free from your comfort zone. Uranus and the north node of karma are still very closely conjunct the ascendant of this chart. So for all of us, we've got to break free from what's comfortable to invent a new world together and reinvent ourselves. On September 23rd, the Sun and Mercury meet up together. That's good for planning and getting organized. It's in your house of dreams. Maybe you get significant insights that day. And then Mercury returns to the mutable earth sign of Virgo, friends and groups. Again, a lot of focus on your friendships, on your relationships. And with Mercury retrograde, likely re-examining your friendships. And perhaps there's miscommunication with an existing friendship. Likely you will hear from people from the past, especially when Mercury is in its dignity, which it is in Virgo. On September 24th, Venus opposes Neptune. There can be challenges with friendships or with romantic partnerships. Could be hurt feelings. Deception could get uncovered, but it could just be misunderstandings. On September 25th, there's a new moon that takes place at 5:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 2 degrees and 49 minutes of the cardinal air sign of Libra in your house of the imagination. Take this opportunity to do the law of abundance, to plant new seeds, to set intentions. This new moon is all about suspension of disbelief for you, really working with your imagination and really believing in magic. On September 26th, Venus meets up with Mercury, very creative energy, and then the Sun opposes Jupiter. And that could be being very busy, having a lot of work to do. It's not a negative energy. On September 27th, Mercury, the planet of communication, forms a very helpful aspect to Pluto, the planet of transformation. And in this case, it's good for dealing with friends and groups. And I think that it's a very empowering energy and good for strong communication and good for feeling empowered in your thinking. And Mars, the planet of action, forms a helpful aspect to Saturn. And that happens on the 27th and the 28th, depending on where you live. That's good for you for connecting with others and ensuring security within. On the 29th, Venus, the planet of love, money, and what you value, enters the cardinal air sign of Libra, which is a sign it rules. It will be there until October 23rd, transiting in your house of dreams and imagination. It's exalted in this house. It loves being there. Very beautiful energy. I wish you a lot of luck and thank you very much. Take care.